Hello everyone, today I'm going to be reviewing League of Legends Sett's like basic lines and stuff. And just before I begin going into his lines and like thinking about them and observing them and kind of maybe giving some constructive criticism, I wanted to give just like a small synopsis of who Sett is. And this is not sponsored, by the way. I just wanted to review his lines and see what kind of character he is. Not just beyond the biased fact that I fucking hate Sett because he is so hard to kill, but he's also hot as fuck, so I don't know what to feel. So, anyways, his quote, this guy's quote on the top of League of Legends says, "Being the boss is a lot better than not being the boss." We're just gonna go past that. A leader of Iona's growing criminal underworld, Sett rose to prominence with the wake of the war with Noxus. Though he began as a humble challenger in the fighting pits of Navarrai, he quickly gained notoriety for his savage strength and his ability to take seemingly endless amounts of punishment. Now, having climbed through the ranks of local combatants, Sett has muscled to the top, reigning over the pits he once fought in. So now that you get sort of the idea of who Sett is, now we will take a look at his lines. So the voice actor is Xander Mobus, which you may recognize from Mob Psycho 100, March Comes In Like a Lion, Blue Exorcist, Hunter x Hunter, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Boruto, Naruto Next Generations, Cells at Work, Demon Slayer, and Marvel Future Avengers. And I personally have only heard of JoJo, Blue Exorcist, and Cells at Work and Demon Slayer. The others I do not know. But when I first heard Sett's voice in the video, I was genuinely a little shocked by how unique it sounded. Not just because of the character, but because of the editing they put on the voice. It doesn't make it sound bad, but it just makes it add this kind of seasoning accent to this character that I am not very familiar with, but I have some interest in.
5 versus 5? What kind of sicko is running this rumble?
See, when you listen to his voice, it doesn't sound like a genuine like voice you would hear in real life. It sounds like a voice that's been edited, and it's because he has a little bit of echo on his voice just for this character. But when I hear this quote like 5 versus 5, what kind of sicko is running this rumble? Because when I think of like when you say what kind of sicko is running this rumble, I just think like in my head like this guy's like kind of frustrated and mad. He's like, what kind of sicko is running this rumble? And it could be also an incantation that it's funny because he says, like this is a joke to me. What kind of sicko is running this rumble? What kind of sicko is running this rumble? Like, as a joke, as in he's feeling bad for the person on the other end, whoever is running this rumble, as he says. But it's kind of maybe a little bit like, what kind of sicko is running this rumble? Like, the way he said it was maybe a little underwhelming because when I hear this sentence, I think he is making fun of the other person. What kind of sicko is running this rumble? Like, the sicko is the part that like really sticks out to me. What kind of sicko is running this rumble? Even with like a little like in the center, maybe that would make it more like he's like lighthearted about this, because the way he's saying it to me definitely shows me that like he thinks he's better than these people, and he thinks that these people are gonna get crushed by him.
Hey, is there a doctor on hand? Asking for my opponents. The boss is here. Hold your applause. Seriously, be quiet.
The seriously be quiet could have been a little more like seriously be quiet, like, because he's trying to prove a point like I want you to shut up, but he's saying it like seriously be quiet. Like, he doesn't sound intimidating. You want him to sound intimidating because I don't know if he's going for that like, oh, don't fuck with me, so I'm gonna like lightly give you a push to show you that like don't want to mess with me. But with the way he says seriously be quiet, I think he was definitely saying it in a serious tone, but like almost a little more like emphasis on that, like seriously be quiet would like push that oomph like more towards the people that he's saying this to.
Wait, hold up. Are we getting paid for this?
He said, "Are we getting paid for this?" Like he should have said it, because the incantation is saying "getting," not "getting." So he's saying, "Are we getting paid for this?" Like he's supposed to. But the "wait, hold up," like there's a different way you can say "wait, hold up." You could be like "wait, hold up," but he's saying like "wait, hold up," like quickly.
Wait, hold up. Are we getting paid for this?
When I feel like it could be more like a "wait, hold up. Are we getting paid for this?" Because the way he's saying it is like offended. Like, I'm putting all this work in, so am I gonna get paid for this? And considering that he came from an environment where he was starting at the bottom and then he came to the top, I feel like he would be like a little more like, "wait, hold up. Are we getting paid for this?" Like, maybe a little more aggressive.
I used to risk my neck in the pit making someone else rich. Now, we do it the other way around. I like that better.
Ugh, oh my god, the way he says that end line. You can hear it in his voice. It's so fucking cool. You can hear that like gravel, like, "I like it better." Because he knows he's tough shit. Even though he's a fucking mama's boy, you can hear that in his throat. It's so cool. See, I feel like he got that last line. He got that last line really good, but I just feel like the emotion for this one is a little bit underwhelming. Like, I used to risk my neck in the pit, making someone else rich. Now we do it the other way around. I like that better. I mean, part of Sett's character could be that he is a patient man who is more about slightly teasing / intimidating his opponents rather than being emotional and being super like growly. But when he does that, I like that better. Like, part with when he says that, he says it in a way where he's like menacing, and perhaps that first part is supposed to be like, "I'm telling you a little bit about myself, but I'm also telling you that I'm better than you." Yeah, I mean, the way he slid his "now we do it the other way around," like slid into the "I like that better" quote. I think because it's hard to explain, but you can hear when he says "way around" and then he goes to "I like that better." It's almost like his voice does the same little like gravelly thing at the end, so it connects better.
They called me Sett the Beast Boy Bastard. Now it's Sett the Beast Man Bastard.
He's trying to reference that they called him a boy and now he's being called a man, but the incantation is kind of weird because he goes "huh" like right in between, but then he says the next sentence as if he doesn't like that phrase better.
They called me Sett the Beast Boy Bastard. Now it's Sett the Beast Man Bastard.
When he says "now," it's just that "now." Like when he says "now," like it's almost like he's a little disappointed that he said it. It should be like, "now it's Sett the Beast Man Bastard," as in like he's the fucking man. He's the guy on top. But when he says "now," it almost like just slightly like breaks that character just for like a second. I wouldn't flag it. It's just that like something that I noticed. It's just kind of confusing, I think, because when he's making two direct references, like they used to call me a boy and now they call me a man, you would think that, even though he's being called a bastard, he's obviously accepted the bastard part, but the fact that he's a man is now like more of an indicator that he's more self-indulgent and he's way more cocky than he was back then because he's the boss.
I remember my first fight. I ran home crying to Mama. She wiped my tears with her claws.
This line, he did really, really good. I can't flag anything for this because, he's following the words perfectly. Like, he's saying crying and he's saying mama, just like the way it's written. I ran home crying to Mama. He's not saying mom, mother. He's not saying mommy. He's saying mama, like the way it is spelt. So that's good. And he's kind of recalling the moment, as in that was a moment where it was rough for him. It was a vulnerability. And, well, that's how it went down for him. And, this is kind of the words or the phrases that tell you he's kind of a mama's boy. Like, he ran home to his mom crying, depending on how old he was. I'm assuming he was young when it happened because Sett seems like the type of guy who got in fights when he was younger. Oh, and that little, like, ha at the end, that's kind of like something people do when they remember something. Like, I remember those good old days, like when my mom would wipe my tears with her claws. So, that's a good touch.
A wise master once said, "Be like water." Guess I'm kind of a tsunami.
Okay, that's fucking good. You can hear that. You can hear that intimidation that I think they're trying to pull off and that he's pulling off in this sentence. Guess I'm kind of a tsunami. Like, that creepy, like, intimidating thing. Like, he's not loud. He's definitely, I think the thing that I'm mixing up is that he's not loud. He's not screaming. He's still being intimidating without being loud, which is something that is kind of hard to do. But when I hear that, guess I'm kind of a tsunami, he's kind of being, like, sly, a little, like, ignorant, and almost, like, dumb. Like, dumb as in, like, he doesn't know that he's a tsunami, but he knows that he knows he is. So that's kind of, like, I don't know, that voice, the way he pushes that last word just makes it sound so nice, and it makes it sound so freaky. Like, I would be freaked out because I would be thinking, what the fuck is he implying? That he's a tsunami, that I'm gonna get crushed, he's gonna pummel me to death? Like, that's kind of the thing I see.
Violence is my business, and business is booming.
For this sentence, I remember before when I said I feel like he has a high voice with low accents. For this voice, I feel like it's low voice with high accents. I can hear it, like, his voice sounds lower, like, violence is my business and business is booming. Like, he sounds like he's speaking lower, but he has higher accents. And I feel like that's just, like, perhaps that could be taken as that's his serious voice, or that's his more intimidating voice, because the other phrases he's just been saying as in, oh, these are kind of like fighting words, like I'm just trying to scare you and I'm trying to, like, imply that I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. But this one is more like, I'm the big fucking man, this is how I roll.
People say they don't like violence, but they all watch.
This is an interesting line for Sett to say, and it's kind of an interesting, like, quote on how society is. Because it's true, we all watch violence, but we don't like it. So why do we not do anything about it sometimes? Other than that, I think, like, he nailed it, like, with the pause, like, they don't like violence. We're all like, yeah, we agree, we don't like violence. And then he's like, but they all watch. And then we all realize, oh, we kind of do watch. We watch boxing, we watch wrestlers, like, we watch violence.
Everyone's got a plan, till they get slammed into the ground.
Another thing, this is another one of those weird pauses one where it's like everyone's got a plan till they get slammed into the ground, but then
Everyone's got a plan, till they get slammed into the ground.
Because the way he says it, you would most likely hear it more as in, everyone's got a plan till they get slammed into the ground. Like, that's kind of the more, like, way I would hear it, but the way he's saying it is like, everyone's got a plan till they get slammed into the ground.
Everyone's got a plan, till they get slammed into the ground.
Just that first sentence is setting up the next sentence, till they get slammed into the ground, to the point where he's saying, you have a plan, but it's fucked because I'm here.
I don't like hurting people. I like the money I get from hurting people.
That was the good ending. I like the money I get from hurting people. He's making a point that, like, I like getting stuff. I like getting money, even if it means hurting people.
I don't like hurting people. I like the money I get from hurting people.
And of course, the perfect, like, hurtin'. He's not saying hurting, he's saying hurtin'. Just like the character should be saying it.
If anyone's watching this fight, they owe me money.
The ending of, if anyone's watching this fight, they owe me money. He's saying it, like, in a, almost like a joking, like, they owe me money. Like, oh, I'm joking that, like, you have to pay me, but that kind of contradicts, like, what he is about, because he likes money. So I feel like he would be like, they owe me money, as in, like, they owe me money seriously, because I'm giving them a show, quotations around that. I'm giving them a show by beating the shit out of these people because apparently we like violence. I'm just saying it just doesn't sound like it fits. Like, it just sounds a little strange.
Every single one of them thinks they're the one to beat me. Okay.
The laugh is good. The laugh is convincing, and it sounds like what his voice is. It matches the voice that he's giving me right now. And it's kind of throaty, like, ugh.
Every single one of them thinks they're the one to beat me. Okay.
Because there's like a wave. Like, every single one of them thinks, and then it peaks again. Every single one of them thinks they're the one to beat me. Okay. And then there's a spike at the end. But I feel like it could also be like, every single one of them thinks they're the one to beat me. Okay. And then, because you can hear the little, like, voice drop right when he goes to thinks.
My coat costs more than this whole damn place.
See, this could also be a little more like, my coat costs more than this whole damn place.
My coat costs more than this whole damn place.
You can hear, like, he's intimidating, but he's just, like, in, like, you know, like, there's, like, you could be a little more like, my coat costs more than this whole damn place.
My coat costs more than this whole damn place.
Or just, like, at the end, he says, my coat costs more than this whole damn place.
Ionia. Place was so damn quiet before I came along.
See, he did it there. He did it what I'm talking about. Place was so damn quiet. Like, he did that, like they're so damn quiet. Like, he added that where it's appropriate.
Ionia. Place was so damn quiet before I came along. I don't bother with jabs. If you're throwing, throw it hard.
So that was good. If you're throwing, throw it hard. He's saying it in, like, a rhetorical, and then, like, rough, like, throw it hard. Don't be no wuss. Don't throw it easy. Throw it hard. You can hear that, like, gruff, like, throw it hard. Throw it as hard as you can.
They call me a thug. I call me an entrepreneur.
See, that's a very, like, that whole sentence, that whole word phrasing just tells you so much about his character. They call me a thug. I call me an entrepreneur. Because people don't normally, it's not really correct grammar to say I call me an entrepreneur, but that's the kind of culture that we have developed. Some people say I call me an entrepreneur. People say me in the third person like that. That's the kind of person that Sett is portraying himself as.
They call me a thug. I call me an entrepreneur.
And he's saying it kind of like, oh, I'm referencing this as the people, but he could also say it as in, they call me a thug. I call me an entrepreneur. They call me a thug. I call me an entrepreneur. There's just a different way you could always say it, but...
They call me a thug. I call me an entrepreneur.
Because when they say... The way he's thinking about it is like he's referencing the way people see him to the way how he sees himself. And the way that people see him is, oh, he's a bad guy. He's a bad guy. He beats people. He beats people for money. He's an awful guy. He doesn't go easy on you. He throws all his punches at you. He's a bad guy. And this guy thinks he's doing it for fun, for money. He doesn't care about the people.
Ugh. Anyone know whose teeth are stuck in my knuckles?
This is another thing too, is so what happens here is he's talking to somebody else. He's pretending he's looking back to the person behind him and asking this question, like, ugh, do you know whose teeth are in my knuckles? He literally is in the booth and he's turning his head away from the microphone to portray that he is talking to someone behind him or someone near him or to his side, to give that illusion of him not saying this question to himself, like, anyone know whose teeth are stuck in my knuckles, to himself as a question. He's asking, like, oh, hey, look at my knuckle, there's fucking teeth in it. Do you know whose these are? That's, like, intimidating. That's scary because he's showing somebody that. That's, like, more about his character than him saying, ugh, I don't know why these teeth are stuck in my knuckles. I guess I'll just pull them out because I'm just a freak. But no, he's more of a freak by saying, hey, you know what these teeth in my knuckles are? Like, that's crazy.
Look at that face. It's just screaming, punch me.
That pause right in between, he says, look at that face. It's just screaming, punch me. You can hear, like, it's just screaming, pause, punch me. I would say he does that good because he's like screaming, punch me. Like he's holding that screaming part out and then he's hitting this punch me. It almost would be more like affirmative and like frightening if he just said punch me, because the way he's saying it is like punch me, like a wave, like punch me, when it could be like punch me, like a, in music when they have like a staccato and then they have like a slur. That's kind of how voices are. He's using a slur here, like punch me, when he could be using a staccato, punch me, right on the dot, right on the beat.
Look at that face. It's just screaming, punch me.
Because to me, I hear it more as, it's just screaming, punch me. It's just screaming, punch me. It's just screaming, punch me. It just feels a little slow.
Look at you, old Bludvist. You too good for me? Huh?
This line, so he's mocking someone. He's mocking a Vistaya, thinking that so the Vistaya think that they're better than him, but he's mocking them because he thinks he's better than them.
Look at you, old Bludvist.
See, that's good. He's intentionally lengthening out his words. Good old, look at you, old Bludvistaya. Like you would say to a little kid. Like you would say, oh, little baby, like, oh, Bludvistaya, you too good for me, huh?
You know, my mom's a Vistaya. That's the only reason I ain't stomped you yet.
Yeah, so this last line you can hear, I ain't stomped you yet. You can hear that, like, in his voice. That's a good one.
That's the only reason I ain't stomped you yet.
You can hear it. You can, like, hear his teeth. Like, I ain't stomped you yet. Like, you can hear how angry he is. How much he's like, I don't believe you're all bad, but you're fucking assholes sometimes.
You're about to see my human side. The part that ain't so nice.
Just the incantation, the phrasing, the flow of the sentence. It just can be interpreted so many ways. My human side, the part that ain't so nice. You could, that ain't so nice. Like you were doing before. When you did the I ain't stomped on you yet, you could have added, it could have been you could have pushed that in like the part that ain't so nice. Using that same intimidation you were using, but in this context.
Look out! There's a new boss round here!
It sounds like at this part, when he says, look out, there's a new boss around here, it almost sounds like he was just, like, lowering his voice because he didn't want to be loud. If he just really, because he's entering the scene, right? He's entering the scene of champions. He's the fucking boss. He's the guy who's ready to just smash shit up for money. Look out! Look out! And I'm probably spiking, but I'm trying to prove a point. Just you can do it. It's just a little more, okay? Just give it a little more. The test, you're passing the test, but you're not getting full grades,
Be right back. Gotta check on some, legitimate business.
I heard this, okay, so funny story, I heard this exact line when I was playing League of Legends. Like, before I did this video, I heard this line when Sett was recalling back, and I was like, what kind of guy is this? Because you can kind of catch the vibe that he's maybe a little, funny in his killing, or his knocking people out, but, in this scene, he's acting like, I don't know, he's acting like he doesn't know what he's doing.
Be right back. Gotta check on some, legitimate business.
I mean, this part he says legitimate business. He says that, oh, I know what I'm doing. But this part, he's saying it, at the first part, he's saying it I don't know what I'm going back for. And then he's like, I don't know what I'm going back for. But whatever I'm going back for, it's probably bad, so you don't want to know. But that could be part of his, character. The character he's trying to portray is that he's kind of a little bit like a musclehead, but he's still gonna kill you. He's still gonna fuck you up.
Things I love. My mama, breaking necks, and fine Ionian silk.
See, this one's good because he's saying, different emotions with each word. He's saying his mom, which he's, softer about. He's saying breaking necks, which is intimidating, but he's saying it like he enjoys it, breaking necks. and the fine Ionian silk, as in that's something he enjoys. He enjoys those things, but then that one thing, like the one thing that he say, breaking necks, is just the thing that like solidifies like what he really likes in life. And he just likes being the boss. He's a mama's boy. He likes beating the shit out of people, and he likes money.
Things I love. My mama, breaking necks, and fine Ionian silk.
And there's a difference between like the when you don't know what you're saying and the when you mean it. And there's definitely like an intentional here, because I wouldn't say like that they like that there that was like a thinking that wasn't an intentional but he's saying that in a sentence where he's thinking, but it's not he's not saying it to put a place marker in between the next sentence and the next word, you know? And the way he says the last part, like, I'm fine Ionian silk, like his voice gets really like smooth, like soft, like he enjoys the feeling, the texture of silk. He loves the way it feels.
Tell my paw I hate him.
Oh god, even that is... That's the appeal. That's the appeal of his character.
Tell my paw I hate him.
See, I feel like that end, like that I hate him, it should be a little more like, I hate him. Tell my paw I hate him. Like, he should sound a little more like in pain, like a little more like I hate him.
What'd you say about my mama?
In this one, you can hear his lip, like his lip go up, and he's like, what'd you say about my mama? Like he's getting real pissed at you.
What'd you say about my mama?
He's gritting his teeth, like he's so pissed. But he could also say it like, what'd you say about my mama? Like, what'd you say about my mama? As in, like, hold up, I'm just shocked that you even said that. But this is more like he heard it. He knows he heard it, and he's gonna kick your ass for it.
Pay up!
See, it's just like a little more like, pay up! Pay up! But maybe it could also be because the voice actor wants to keep the voice in. He's afraid to go higher, like, pay up! Like, really get that, like, ugh! Like, pay up! Alright, so that was, like, all of the, like, advice I had about the lines. You could argue that nothing needs to be changed, but in reality, there's always something that can be changed as voice acting lines, depending on if you can change it or you can't change it. It's always nice to know kind of the different ways stuff can be taken. And of course, I haven't heard all these lines in like context because I don't play Sett. I don't play in a lane where I am around Sett, so I don't hear his lines often. But it was a nice time to like kind of interpret lines and kind of really start to like envelop myself in this character. Like, who is this guy? What does this guy do? What is this guy about? Like, what kind of personality is he? What kind of friend would he be to you? What kind of guy would he be if he saw your enemies? Like, that kind of thing. And, you know, you definitely want to be on this guy's side rather than on the opposing side. But getting on his side is not an easy thing, because depending on what you're for, he's either going to not give a shit or he's going to give a shit. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know what you think about Sett in the comments. I have differing opinions of him, but I hear a lot of people like him and some people hate him just because he's stupidly OP. So, yeah, thank you for listening and have a good day.